After a long week cashing.
Alright, hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Matt. Welcome to the one and only Sin Bin. This is the only hockey show, the greatest hockey show on YouTube, where we incorporate you viewers, we answer your questions, we talk about anything hockey. It's the best hockey show on YouTube, and I hope you guys will join us for the ride. Jake, who right now is fucking tiny and it's pissing me the fuck off. Yeah. Oh.
Of me being called tiny.
Yeah, your volume was off. Jake just said it's the first time someone's called him tiny. Now, the reason there's a little bit of confusion, and the reason why it's such an impromptu show today, part of what I've always wanted to do as a sports pundit is I love going on YouTube. I love taking viewers' questions. I love it. But one thing I've really wanted to do is incorporate viewers' calls. I want them to come in, call the show, and as well as taking live chat, we can talk to them. So I recently purchased XSplit. It cost me $100 and something, and XSplit it's known to be a little bit more better when incorporating it with Skype. We were supposed to stream with XSplit. We were supposed to go. Everything was ready. XSplit shit the bed. So I'm back on OBS. That's going to be technology for the future. We're going to get there, but it's not ready quite yet. And also, I got to thank Jake because today is my last day. It's my last day of internships. A lot of my buddies are out there partying. I didn't want to skip the show. I did want to do it a little bit early, so I do have to thank Jake because he was adherent and he managed to do it a little bit earlier. So thank you, buddy.
No problem.
Yeah. You didn't even fix your hair. That's how much of a rush you were in.
Yeah, You know how I like to do my hair up before the show.
Yeah.
Put it behind a hat. Do you remember Dave Dave Rose?
Yeah. Why don't you tell the folks about Dave Rose?
Dave Rose was this dude was like a freaking tinfoil hat wearing kook job who lived in like Toronto. And he would come on and he would get all pissed off if we pronounced something wrong. Or there was one show I was wearing a hat. He goes, "Hey Jake, do you have a hole in your ceiling? Why are you wearing a hat?" You know.
And the next day or the next show rather, you came on with a chef's hat because you used to work at Benny Wan or whatever it's called.
No. I didn't work at Benny Wan. I got classes to learn how to do the.
Oh.
Yeah. Joe said I had the Kessel hairstyle going.
Yeah. You're a little laggy. We're going to live with it for now. This is not going to be technically a great show. I'm kind of all over the place as we're all switching over to XSplit. But your volume is good, so I always said good audio trumps good video in this type of stuff. Also, as if the show couldn't get shitty enough, there wasn't that much news.
No.
Joe says you have the Phil Kessel hairstyle.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. It's true. You do look like Phil Kessel. Oh, that's great. There really wasn't that much news to go about. I mean,
a Taylor Hall stuff up the wazoo.
Yeah, no. A lot of Taylor Hall stuff.
That's
our news for the day came from the OHL, which is kind of. But no, you're right. A lot of Taylor Hall stuff, and I forgot to include that in my notes. But you can explain that a little bit later on.
And yeah, definitely. We have an old timer in the chat.
How are you, Terry? She says, "Hi, Matt and Jake, my lovelies." Hi, Terry. Nice to meet you. As I open my orange soda.
Nice to meet you. Yeah, I'm down. Terry's old school. Terry's from the shop from the Point days.
Yeah.
And she's a big fan of hockey. She's a Winnipeg Jets fan.
Yeah, so, Winnipeg Jets. Way out there where it's cold as fuck. I think one of the funniest hockey news of my entire life was Evander Kane, who wanted out of Winnipeg because it's like the shittiest city to live in because it's really cold. And he ended up getting traded to Buffalo. Anyway.
Well, it's like I heard like the city's so cold, like they practically live underground.
Really? Well, yeah, and Quebec is pretty cold. Yeah, but I can't imagine Winnipeg. It has to be horrible over there.
Oh yeah. Well, there's like polar bears in the northern part of Manitoba.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, did you do anything interesting this week?
I peed my pants.
Should I ask for more information or go for it?
I mean, no. Okay, well, I was doing Lyft and Uber. My dad, I had nobody in my car. I just dropped off somebody. You ever have those times where like probably an hour or two before you're like, I gotta pee, but I can hold it.
Yeah.
And then you just don't even like acknowledge it or anything like that.
Right.
And then just out of nowhere it hits you. Like I dropped off this person and I was like in the sticks, like in the middle of nowhere, like in the mountains in New Jersey.
Right.
So there wasn't even a place for me to pull over. I'm like looking for like a gas station or a convenience store, or anything at this moment. You know, I'm like, I couldn't even pull off to the side of the road because there was really no side of the road.
Oh no, you pissed yourself.
And I just said, you know what? I'm just gonna pee myself.
Dude.
I mind you, I was an hour away from home, so I turned off my app, like for to receive more rides, and I just said, I'm just gonna piss myself, and that's what I did. I decided to just say fuck it. And
do you do your own laundry?
I do.
Okay. All right.
I called my wife. I said, listen, my wife was out with her family. I said, listen, I need to go home. There's been a little bit of an issue. And she's like, what happened? What happened? I said, am I on speaker?
Yeah.
And she's like, no. I said, well, I went to the bathroom. At first she thought I shit myself. This is the thing. Like, she thought, like, oh yeah, you shit yourself, definitely, the way you eat, yeah. But I'm like, nope, I peed myself.
Oh my god, I almost feel like peeing is worse in some way, because at least shit stays localized and it stays within the pants. Piss just seeps everywhere.
Oh, dude, like it went down into my like down my leg. And,
that reminds me of a story.
It was really bad. And I had an hour ride. And like every time I moved my leg, it reminded me that I pissed myself. Terry said adult diapers, Jake.
That reminds me of a story.
Oh,
by the way, welcome to Piss and Shit Talk on the Sin Bin.
Yeah.
No, it reminded me of a story when I was really young. We went to North Conway.
3 years old.
No, I was about realistically maybe like 12 to 15, in that range. We went down to North Conway because there was this kids amusement park called Storyland, but we went there as 15-year-olds, so we looked reject as fuck. And we ate at Olive Garden, and where we live there's no Olive Garden. So we took that opportunity to eat at Olive Garden, and I ate calamari. I ate a little bit too much calamari, and we're leaving the restaurant, and I had a situation like you. I need a poop right now. I don't want to put my ass on the restaurant toilets, so I'm just going to wait till we get to the hotel and I can hold it. Now, my dad, he loves these corn muffins. And again, he can't get those corn muffins back home. He can only get them at the Hannaford in the States because they don't sell them in Canada. That specific brand of corn muffins. So my dad decides, at that very moment, I want to buy corn muffins. So he drives over and I'm begging him, Dad, can we not buy corn muffins? I really need to go to the bathroom. He says, no, hold it. So we end up going to the first Hannaford. I think they ran out or something. So you would think he would drive me home, right? No, he goes to a second Hannaford further away. And I'm in the back seat. We had a Honda Odyssey. I'm in the back seat. And I'm just lying down, like, wiggling in pain. And I shit myself. I shit all of the calamari. And then my dad comes in the car and he's just like, come on! What the hell's wrong with you? And I said, I'm sorry, I couldn't hold it.
And did you have, like, stopped at, like, a Tim Hortons or whatever it is?
I guess not. You'd have to ask my dad on that.
One more disgusting story before we do get into the show.
Yeah.
So I was in EMT class, and
what is that?
And it was me and my friend, and I was.
What is that? EMT?
I get to the class. Huh?
What is that? EMT?
What is an emergency medical technician?
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, like the ambulance, people in the ambulance. I don't know. They probably call it something different in Canada.
Yeah.
Mounties. So yeah, Mounties. No, so I get to the class. I get to class. There was a little bit of ice. I slept, but I didn't fall down. So I'm just it's really cold. So then my friend comes in, and he says, "It's really icy outside."
Right.
I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "I fell down." I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "You all right?" He's like, "Yeah." I had to take a shit. I'm like, okay. Did you go? He's like, yeah. and he's like, so I'm like, dude, he's like looking at me. I'm like, did you clean yourself up in the bathroom? He's like, yeah. I'm like, dude, but you fucking reek. Then he's like looking at me like all puzzled. It's like, I have deodorant in my car. I'm like, dude, go home and take a fucking shower. I'll fucking vouch for you. And then, and like we're sitting there, and I'm sitting there in class, and they're like, "Where's Keith?" I don't care. I'll say his name because I told the story so many fucking times. And fuck you, Phil Kessel. So they're like, "Where is he?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, he left the oven on." I was like, "Well, he shouldn't have left." And they're like reading me the riot act. I'm like, listen, he shit himself, okay?
Right. Oh my god. Oh my god. So I hope you guys got your quota of piss and shit stories. Now that that's out of the way, I think we're ready to go on with the hockey show. And if any of you guys, Terry or Glenn, Glenn's not really new, but if any new people, you want to ask your hockey questions, go ahead. It's going to be a pretty light show. Not that much news to talk about. I don't even have image loaded up because of XSplit. But if you guys want to ask your questions, go ahead. But if not, why don't we move on to our main story for the day? So, to give you guys a bit of a background here, I go on Sportsnet. I know I said I'm done with Sportsnet. I don't watch the hockey on Sportsnet, but I go on their YouTube channel because they sometimes put up hockey highlights. So I'm going for hockey highlights, and most of the time, right, it's usually NHL. Now this time I see OHL goalie suffers gruesome injury. Now, Jake, when you hear gruesome injury for a goalie, what do you think of?
I think of, like, without knowing it, I always think, like, somebody crashed the net and he hit it at the back of his neck on the post.
No, yeah, exactly.
Something like that.
My mind automatically went to the Clint Malarchuk situation, and I'm thinking
you weren't that far off.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, oh man, this is bad. It's not quite as bad as Clint Malarchuk, but it is still pretty freaking bad. What happened? Did you end up seeing the highlight, Jake?
I, I did. It
Yeah.
looked like a freaking war.
Well, what happened for you guys who didn't see the highlights? A player he comes to the goalie. He sort of slips, similar to Clint Malarchuk again. And this time, I guess he hit the goalie. He slid with his skate right above his knee, and it slashed him right above the knee, where like a really important artery is. And as a result, I mean, it was just a pool of blood on the ice. The guy's name was Tucker Tynan. I have some images of what happened. I can't show the whole video because I will get a copyright. But you can see he was obviously on the ice in a lot of pain. The trainer, he had a towel and he's just mopping up the whole floor. It looked like you said, a war zone. And this injury was so bad. This has only happened a few times in my life where a hockey injury is so bad, they ended up canceling the whole game as a result. Because just like...
There was the one player that had the seizure.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Rich Peverly. In case what Jake is talking about, Rich Peverly on the Dallas Stars had a seizure. And you guys can look it up on YouTube. Like, the whole benches, both teams are going crazy. They're saying, hey, let's get some medical attention. They ended up, they didn't have time to bring a stretcher. They carried him with their own hands to the locker room. And in that instance, yeah, the game did get canceled because it's such a gruesome injury. For this guy, back to Tucker Tynan, the Niagara Ice Dogs, which is the teams that he plays for, they did release a statement on Twitter. They're saying he's in the hospital, he's recovering, he's everything. Now, Jake, I want to hear your opinion because I think we both can agree that it's a gruesome injury. I'm not going to ask you about that. That's a dumb question. I know you like to play goalie. Say you're the other team's goalie, right? You're the other team's goalie, and you see that happen to the other goalie. Are you scared? Are you nervous this is going to happen to you, or is it kind of like water off a duck's back? Would it bother you?
See, I've fortunately never seen anything like that. So, when playing, I've seen players get hurt, but but I think a part of me would be it would be hard to get my head right after that.
Right. It's
and
kind
you
of
see
traumatic.
it like there's definitely something like if you ever watch football, after a player, like there was a player that played for the Lions, and like they did like something like plays after like big injuries, and like everybody, there's always somebody messing up just because of what happened, and
Right.
and it's like really like I had a scary thing happen, and I won't lie, I wasn't the same for a little bit playing goalie. The one game I used to wear like just the old CCM style mask, just a regular cage, and
Right.
I got hit. I normally had a piece that just went across. It wasn't a plastic piece. It was just went on my neck, and I forgot it. I forgot it that game, and I was like, what's the chances? So I got hit in the throat with a puck.
Ooh.
I caught the puck off my throat, caught the puck, and I fell down and passed out.
Ugh.
And I ended up getting back up, drinking some water, and getting back into the game.
Right.
But just best believe I was not the same. I was not the same after that, and
Yeah.
I even told my coach, like he was like, "Listen, we're gonna put such and such in instead of you for a couple games." I'm like, that's probably for the best because
Yeah.
you get a little gun shy. And I think as a goalie, you probably do, but these guys are professionals.
Yeah.
Either way you slice it, they're professionals. And I'm sure that they've seen things like this many times. Probably not as bad as this. This is a freak thing. You don't see goalies get hurt often.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Now,
they're hurt, but they're not hurt
that's a good point where I mean, there's a lot of players where I'm completely jealous of them. Something like this happens to them, they don't mind. But it's a good point you bring because there are some players. The first one that comes to mind is a guy like Taylor Hall. I think when he was with the Oilers, he came out and he said, yeah, I had to modify my game because I was sick of getting clobbered and I was sick of getting hit. So as bad as it sounds, no, I'm not going to go to the dirty areas. Or even in my own backyard, a guy like Pat Chiaretti. Pat Chiaretti suffered one of the worst injuries I've ever seen in my life, where Zdeno Chara committed interference on him and basically rammed his head into the stanchions, which is a fancy word for that post at the end of the bench. I did not like that hit. I've kind of hated Chara ever since. I think the Montreal fans, he played something like his 1000th game in Montreal. They all gave him an ovation. I think that they have a lot of class for doing that because what Chara did, a lot of people wanted him arrested. Like, it was that bad. But my point is, Max Pacioretty coming back from that injury, he never looked the same. Guys, let me know, but it seemed before the injury and when he first started playing in the league, he was on a line with Eric Cole. Now, Eric Cole was one of the prime power forwards back in the day, and Pacioretty modeled a lot of his game from Eric Cole. And it seems like after that injury, the power forward aspect of his game kind of dissipated, and he became more of like a quote-unquote sniper. He stopped going to the dirty areas. It made him look quote-unquote a little bit more lazy. It happens in all sports. Yeah, that's one instances where I feel like the injury, it kind of played in his head a little bit. He never seemed the same after that. Another one is Byron. Paul Byron in Montreal, he's consistently a 20 goal scorer or 20-ish goal scorer. Someone's disappointed that you're not Phil Kessel.
No.
That is not Phil Kessel, Bob Thinning. What was I saying? Oh, Paul Byron. Paul Byron, he consistently scored 20 goals. I feel he hasn't been the same after getting knocked out in that fight. Stupid fucking decision. Did you see that?
Nah.
Oh, man. Hey, he hits a guy in the beginning of the year. It was a dirty hit. He got suspended. And then the next day, or like later on in the season, the Florida player comes up to Byron and he says, hey, you gonna answer for your hit? It's something that's so fucking stupid in hockey, by the way. I mean, I'll go and say it. The code is bullshit. The hockey code. You think it's a fucking code to have someone who's inches smaller than you, like 30 to 40 pounds smaller than you, fight you because he did a hit on you and ended up getting suspended? Hey, he already paid the price. Come on. Fucking bullshit. Anyway, I got off topic there. I wish Mr. Tucker Tynan, I believe that was his name. I wish Mr. Tucker Tynan a speedy recovery, and I hope that that doesn't change him at all. It's not going to be one of the situations where he's a different player. I hope that he's the same, basically, if not better. I wish him a speedy recovery. Now, that wasn't the only story to come out of this incident because, and I apologize, I don't have the photo. I did back on XSplit, but since that shit the bed, I don't have it right now. You know, like the seats next to the corridor that leads to the locker room?
Yes. Where everyone tries to get high fives?
Yeah, where everyone tries to get high fives. Yeah. Someone was sitting there, a man. He heckled the medical staff when they came to help the guy.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
that is horrible.
Yeah, I had a photo of it. I'll try to find it as I'm talking. Oh my god,
that is horrible! What a shithead!
Oh yeah, no, he's huge shithead. He heckled the medical staff for I have it here for basically helping this guy off the ice, and some fans saw that and they weren't really happy. A whole fight broke out in that same game. Like, right after his leg basically gets slashed, there's a pool of blood. A fight breaks out in the stands, which was crazy. It's a pretty shitty quality photo, but this is pretty much what it looked like.
You can't fuck with the O.
Yeah, this guy right here, this balding guy, I guess he was the one that was heckling, and he ended up having a fight with the people in the back row. Yeah, there's some assholes on this planet.
I wonder what he said.
Yeah, I wonder too. Yeah, you go help that guy.
Yeah. Bleed much?
Oh, I was so happy. You guys in the chat, you might know him. Tony Marinero. Have you ever heard of him, Jake?
The name sounds familiar.
Tony Marinero. He's a radio. He does TSN 690 here in Montreal. He's a radio host.
Does he do the XM satellite radio?
I don't think so.
Because the name sounds familiar.
No, I don't think so. So Tony Marinero, and again, I'm going to try to find it as I'm talking, double tasking. I follow him on Twitter, and he's saying, oh, fuck, I want to find the exact tweet because I don't want to misquote him in any which way. Tony Marinero. Tony Marinero. He's a really good follow. I don't necessarily agree with all of his takes, but I do recommend listening to his show. I think it's called, I forget what it's called, I'm sorry, but it's every 10 or 11 o'clock. He writes, can you see it, Jake?
Let me get to the other screen.
Looks like I have been blocked by, can you take a guess? This piece of shit.
Jack Fraud.
Jack
Oh.
Fraud. In case you guys don't know
you and Tony Marinero have something in common.
Yeah, I gotta say, I felt kind of special, but I'm reading the comments in the thread, and there's just a bunch of people like, hey, I got blocked by Jack Fraud. I got blocked by Jack Fraud. You know, I'm Spartacus, that type of thing. So now I feel a lot less special. But
yeah, now you think that you found the most perfect, beautiful girl, and that you're the only one for her, to find out that she slept with everyone.
In case you guys don't know what happened, Jack Fraud, I love that fucking name.
That is good.
Jack Fraud blocked me on Twitter because I told a guy, another separate hockey writer, I guess he's a scout, he's so famous I've never heard about him. I disagreed with him about Kotkaniemi. I was a little bit blunt. I don't think that I crossed the threshold of being rude. And he blocked me because of something I said to another guy. And then he completely besmirched me and made lies, to which I challenged him to come on the show. And Jake, you sent him the tweet and you sent him the link to the show. He never answered back because why?
I'm actually going to see if I'm blocked.
Oh, that's a good idea. But in case you guys are wondering why Tony Marinero's Tony Marinero, he's kind of not politically correct, but like a diplomat. He gets along with everyone. And the reason why he got blocked, let me just find the exact tweet. Ah, fuck. Oh, man, I should have loaded this before.
No, I'm not blocked, but I'm going to go block much. That's all I'm tweeting to him.
He's not even going to understand. All right. All right, I got it. He writes this, Jack Turd. He writes, missed the Habs game, but a nice win for the Habs. They need it. I think this was after the Pittsburgh game. They need it. Feel for them in this town with all of the Marineros hoping for a bad loss so they can go apoplectic and stage a hissy fit. One game at a time, as they say. So he basically calls out Marinero. Marinero never did anything to this guy. He basically calls him out. And what does Marinero respond? I got it right. Fuck. I suck at computers. What does Marinero respond? He says, hey, Jack, you missed the Habs game. Nothing has changed, I guess. I still remember when we worked Ron Ruch's Sports Night 360 TV show. You'd show up just minutes before the show, tell us you did not watch the game, ask us what happened, and then go on air and say everything we told you.
Oh, wow.
And afterwards, after that sick burn, if I might say so myself, Jack Fraud blocked him. Oh my God. So I was making a segment. Unfortunately, I don't have the graphics or anything. The dumbass of the week. The dumbass of the week. Oh, Jake, you gained weight again. Let me fix you. There, Phil Kessel. Oh boy. The dumbass of the week. And the first time I did that segment, Jack Fraud took the cake. This week, I gotta give it to Jack Todd again. I think he deserved it. I mean, you come out to a guy, okay, you call him out. You call him out, he answers to you, and then you block him? What's up?
You want to go see what I just tweeted? I just sent you a screenshot of what I just tweeted to him.
On Facebook?
Yeah, on the messenger.
Oh, no, dude. Are you going to make me regret hiring you? What's happening?
No.
Oh, no. Hold
no,
on.
it's really innocent. It's really innocent. I'm going to get blocked, though.
You're going to get blocked? What does it pertain to while I load it up?
It's really just 3 words.
No, like, it's so sickening, though, if I might say so. Jack, if you're listening, and I hope you are, is someone who disagrees with you or says something that's just a little bit confrontational, and you just go AWOL and block the guy. I mean, grow the fuck up, dude. You're in your 70s.
So like, is he a Canadian blogger, or is he just you like that?
Funny. Yeah. Blocky McBlockface. You know what's the best thing about that? He can't block you because then he'll just prove your joke. Oh my god!
I told you it's so ridiculous. It's just.
Yeah. Oh my god! Joe says I can't say that word. Apocalyptic. I don't know what that means on the account of being dumb. I don't know what it means too. I guess it's the apocalypse. I don't even know. No, it's not. Nominees for Dummy of the Week: Jack Todd for being Jack Todd, and the guy in the crowd heckling the medical staff. You know, I thought of giving the Dummy of the Week award to the medical staff guy. I think that Jack Todd edged him out. I think that Jack Todd edged him out.
2-time Dummy of the Week.
2-time Dummy of the Week.
Here, no. This is what we're going to do. We're going to call it the Puckhead of the Week.
Yeah.
Instead of the Fuckhead of the Week, the Puckhead of the Week.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There we go. Boom.
Oh, speaking of pucks. Speaking about pucks, catch my last show last week with the puck bag. Oh, man. That was a great show. If you guys haven't seen it, and Mark, I keep wanting to call him Jack. Mark from the Pack Bag, he knows his shit, and he was just a delight. If you guys haven't seen it yet, check our last episode. We talked about Joe Thornton punching that goalie in the face. All right. Terry says, Jack, or Jake, did you just get blocked, bud?
No, not yet. Not yet.
He's usually pretty quick. He's like a millennial level of being on his phone. He usually answers pretty quickly. Yeah, Terry, one of our earlier shows, I explained the whole situation. I can send it to you. But Jack Todd, I mean, I think he's polite when he calls him Jack Fraud. I call it Jack Turd. But yeah, Jack Todd, you win the Dummy of the Week. This thing doesn't work.
The Puckhead of the Week.
Puckhead of the Week. All right. We're going to make this a segment. Okay, why don't we move on to our next piece of news? And our next piece of news is all the fucking coaches being fired. Peter DeBoer, he recently got fired from the Sharks. Jim Montgomery got fired from the Stars. In the case of Jim, he was quoted as having unprofessional conduct, inconsistent with the core values and beliefs of the Dallas Stars and the NHL. So, in other words, the Stars, they hire this guy, Jim Montgomery. Good old Montreal guy, I just learned. He hires this guy, Jim Montgomery, and he's under contract. And I think with his type of contract and when they fired him, Jim Montgomery lost $1.2 million. Don't quote me on that, but he lost in the millions because of this firing. And the reason why, it's unprofessional conduct. We don't know what that means, okay? The only people that knows what it means is Jim Nill, the GM, and Jim Montgomery. What's up?
See, I want to know, like, say if the Stars were playing to their potential that they could have been, if he would have been fired for what they deemed unprofessional content.
Yep. Now, when it comes to this, and we've talked a lot about the Mike Babcock situation. Yes, I will call him Mike Babcock till the end of days. We talked a lot about the Bill Peters situation. There have been some instances where, let's say, the coaches, they weren't always the best, or they weren't always the most politically correct to the players. Now, with Jim Montgomery, I don't see it as being that. And the reason why I don't think he was mistreating the players in any way is because, and I quote right here, I have quotes by Tyler Seguin and Jamie Benn, two of the core pieces of the Dallas Stars, actually. He says, "It's confusion. It's sad. I wanted him to be the last coach I had in Dallas. We trust management and the decision they had to make." That's what Tyler Seguin said. Jamie Benn added, "It's a huge shock. We never expected that one. We want to know all of the answers, but we trust Jim Nill and the decision that he's made." So I made a video about this. Again, I don't think it was a problem with the players. I don't even think it was a hockey problem, because in the last 10 games, the Dallas Stars are 6-3-1, which is actually a fairly decent record. This is something between the GM and the coach. The coach must have done something to the GM. Did he fuck his daughter? Did he fuck his wife? Did he fuck him? I don't know. As behind closed doors, we'll probably never know. But what I do know, I think Jim Montgomery, the coach.
My bad.
Did you just faint? What's going on there, Phil?
No, I dropped something.
Jim Montgomery, the coach, may be thinking about suing here, because he did get ripped off in the sense that $1.2 million is being left on the table. So let me know what you guys think about just the firing, about Jack Fraud, about everything. Now, let's read a little bit the comments. Terry says, did you get blocked? Eddie Van Haskell just clarifying what apoplectic is. Joe says, Joe, thanks again for being here, buddy. He says, "Hey, Jake, with DeBoer and Montgomery being fired, would you like to have either of them in New Jersey or someone else? Maybe keep Nasruddin." Now,
and I said Nasruddin needs to go. They have not gotten a win under Nasruddin, and they look lifeless still. They look like they have no life in their game.
yeah.
We did DeBoer. Here's the thing with DeBoer. His first season with the team, he always goes to a cup. So, and Montgomery, I don't know much about him. So I'd have to consider that. But I mean, there's going to be some names out there for.
Well, didn't DeBoer already coach the Devils?
Yes, he did.
Oh,
like
wow.
I said, he went to the finals with them.
I mean,
then he went to the finals with the Sharks.
Yeah.
So like the guy has like a.
It's not unheard of for the coach to come back.
No.
I mean, Claude Julien.
No. Especially with the Devils. The Devils have had Jacques Lemaire come back like 2 times. There was another coach too. So yeah.
I remember on Shot from the Point, we did a story. I don't know if you remember this. Pete DeBoer made practice optional.
Yes, I was the one that said that. Yeah. He normally did make practices optional.
And
like a majority more than they weren't.
Yeah, and like I get it. We don't want coaches to be like Bill Peters, right? But I think there's a happy medium between Bill Peters and Peter DeBoer, right? I don't know if you said this as a joke, but you said that Peter DeBoer took the players out for ice cream after the game.
No, that was Alain Vigneault.
Oh, Alain.
That's why I was that. Yeah, Alain Vigneault. I was because when he first came on,
right?
They were saying I was like the way he's coaching. He goes, if we win tonight, boys, we'll go get ice cream. But if we lose, we'll still get ice cream.
All right, so guys, let me know what you think. Do you agree? I didn't really touch on it, but with DeBoer, hockey situation. This is a hockey decision. The Sharks suck, and they shouldn't suck. I mean, when you have a team with players like Brent Burns, Erik Karlsson, veterans like Joe Thornton and Patrick Marleau, and even guys like Logan Kucherov, I mean, your team should be top right now. They should be in the top of the Pacific. And right now, I think as of Thursday, the 3 California teams were in the bottom of the Pacific, in the bottom of the ocean. So that sucks. So let me know what you guys think about DeBoer being firing. about Jim Montgomery being firing. Do you think coaches should take the players out for ice cream? Let us know in the chat.
I'm actually a little upset, Matt, that you haven't taken me out for ice cream.
I'm watching my cholesterol. I'm watching my. You know what? My parents made me eat too much ice cream. They never controlled me. Every day I would eat ice cream, chocolate chip, Oreo, whatever you call it. And because of them, I have fucking breasts right now. I heard somewhere that fat cells, you can't fully get rid of them. You can only make them shrink.
No.
That's why it's really hard to lose weight once you're fat. That sucks. Oh, speaking of which, you just got fat. Oh, boy. Fucking OBS. All right, hold up.
Andrew Greco said, take him for strawberry ice cream.
Oh, yeah. What's your favorite ice cream, Jake?
I like the Ben & Jerry's Cherry Garcia.
Right. What the hell's that?
This show just got really... You don't know Cherry Garcia?
Is that like cherry mixed with Andy Garcia from The Godfather 3?
No. Well, you know who Jerry Garcia is, right?
Yeah.
He was the guitar player from the Grateful Dead. Well, Ben & Jerry's made a flavor named after him, and it's like one of their best flavors. It's called Cherry Garcia, and it's chopped up cherries with chunks of chocolate in it.
Oh, that sounds good. I saw they made an ice cream after Jimmy Fallon. What does it taste like? Disappointment? Anyway, Eddie Van Haskell says the Dallas coach said something to another Dallas staff member that was inappropriate. I don't know if that was for fact, or I don't know if you're speculating, but hey, I don't know what's going on there. It might be a possibility. Andrew Greco says the strawberry ice cream. Joe says, I don't know about you guys, but Social Justice fired almost everybody in the coaching staff. They even fired their goalie coach and hired Nabokov, and superstar goalie of the past.
But you see, I thought he said, but Social Justice.
Yeah. San Jose, sorry.
San Jose. I would like to say, wow. I read it as San Jose.
Yeah, San Jose. What was I saying? Oh, Nabokov. Nabokov is one of those goalies who, nowadays, a goalie under 6 foot is almost unheard of. There's some exceptions here or there. UC Saros over there in Nashville. I don't know quite what Nabokov's height was, but he was a small goalie. He had to rely a lot on his athleticism and everything. So I think that Nabokov in San Jose, he'll help out Martin Jones, who I think is a much better goalie than what he's showing right now. So Terry Ann says, Matt has to watch your girlish figure. Matt, you look good as you are. Really? You think that this looks good as I am? Oh. There you go.
Oh, look at him blushing.
I'm not blushing.
Such a sweetheart.
The worst is that I was trying to aim
Jake
the camera.
Matt, oh, Matt.
What? What do you say? Jake to Matt. Oh, Matt.
Matt,
you're my third best friend in the whole world. Matt, third? Who are the first two? Jake, Ben and Jerry. Ah!
So, my kid, my daughter, she was actually through in vitro fertilization. So we
explain what that is for people who might not know. You made a semen popsicle?
I come in a cup and they take my wife's egg, and they take her eggs and they make embryo. So I always said, since they have some that are frozen, that I was like, I could always, if we have twins and we have boys, I could always just name them Ben and Jerry.
Yeah. What if the doctor was drinking milk and accidentally picked up your cup of semen and drank it? That'd be funny. Joe says, Family Guy reference right there. Eddie Van Haskell says, furry sweater meat. I got the furry sweater of the century. Look at this, guys. I got the belly. Oh my god, I have to lose fucking weight. Oh.
If I show my kids, we would probably get a strike.
Well, why don't you do it so we're equal here? Why don't you show your belly? Come on.
Okay. All right. Sweet. Fine.
Yes.
For the ladies.
Yes. Wait, we can't see it. Lift up. All I see is Phil Kessel. Go. Hey, stand up.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You're going to make me stand up?
There we go. All right. There we go.
Ugh.
Terry Ann says, "Good Lord, Matt." Oh, good Lord, Matt. After what you just saw, good Lord, Matt.
No, don't worry. They're on a delay,
Okay.
so they'll be seeing it soon.
I know. Good. They're gonna have a heart attack.
Yeah.
Oh boy. 40.
Check your seats.
All right. While I read the next story, why don't you check out Jack Fraud? See what's the news on that front. As we lost like 3 viewers.
Okay.
Right now. All right. Oh, by the way, the guy who's replacing oh my God, I don't know if he's replacing. I think he's replacing DeBoer. His name is Rick Bonus, which is probably the coolest name I've ever seen in my lifetime. Anyway, so the Pittsburgh Penguins goaltender Tristan Jarry, he set as of Thursday a new franchise record for the longest consecutive shutout streak at 174 plus minutes. The prior record was held by Thomas Vokoun at 173. Does this mean that Matt Murray is on the trading block? Does this mean that we might see him leave in the expansion draft? I don't know, but what I can say, this Jerry kid, I picked him up in our fantasy league. He's been playing out of his mind. I mean, 3 out of the past 4 games are shutouts, not wins. I mean, a goalie, it's good if 3 of the last 4 games are wins. Not Tristan Jarry. 3 out of the last 4 games are shutouts. That's something. What do you think of that? And do you know Tristan Jarry?
This is actually my first time hearing about him. But that reminds me of like the way it reminded me of the whole Andrew Hammond thing.
Yeah.
So like, don't get too excited.
Oh yeah. Like even on the fantasy app, they wrote in the update like he's playing good right now. Don't expect him to steal Murray's job long term. But hey, we've seen crazier stuff. I'm sure people were saying that about Binnington, and he ended up winning the Stanley Cup. But hey, in the meantime, man, Pittsburgh, they know how to draft. If you look at that 2013 draft, I believe it was 2013, they didn't have a first-round pick. Their second pick, they ended up getting Tristan Jarry. Do you know who they got with their 3rd-round pick?
Matt Murray? No.
Take a guess. Too long. It's oh fuck, I forgot his name. Fuck. Gensel. Gensel. That's karma. Gensel. So
Gensel.
You don't have a 1st-round pick. You end up walking away with Gensel and Tristan Jarry. That's pretty good.
Not bad.
I don't know why I just became a woman, but that's pretty good.
No. It's just like there's just certain teams in sports.
Yeah.
That it's just they are destined to be great.
Yeah.
Just because they play. The Patriots in football, the New York Yankees in baseball.
Right.
And I'm gonna say it's the Pittsburgh Penguins in hockey. Because you know what?
Why?
They're all
ridiculous.
They just always find ways to win. They're always in the conversation. They're always going to be in a playoff spot. You can never ever count out what's it called? Crosby.
Yep.
You can never count out that Pittsburgh team. Like until they've lost 4 games in a playoff series.
Yep.
You can't count them out.
You know who's my hands down? I don't care what the league says. You know who's my hands down choice for coach of the year?
Who's that?
Ted Sullivan. Mike Sullivan. I'm sorry. Mike Sullivan in Pittsburgh. The reason why Crosby's been out, arguably, I don't think so, but you can make the argument he's the best player in the league. Hornquist has been injured. Dumoulin has been injured. Schultz has been injured. The team was decimated in injuries. And somehow they're still in the playoff run. I mean, if you play that well, and again, give a lot of credit to Jarry. I think he's playing out of his mind insane. Like, don't expect him to maintain this, but still, I think he's a really good coach. It's the system that's winning. Joe says
that's what I'm saying, but you can never count him out.
Right.
Never.
Joe says Jerry is this year's Bington. Pittsburgh's winning the cup again. Joe says to me, I think Winnipeg's season lives and dies with Hellebuyck. If he's down, that's it. They're done. And I would tend to agree. And another story coming out of Winnipeg was Patrick Lane. How is he going to play this year? Because he's obviously a talented kid. He's shown that he can score 40-plus goals consistently. Not consistently. He's a very streaky player. But I was curious, after a disappointing season where he only got 30 goals, but I say only. We're expecting more when it comes to him. But most importantly, he was just really bad. Those games, he was just awful. I was wondering how he would respond. Now, he's not having a splash of a season. He's not like having a huge reemergence or anything like that, proving the naysayers wrong or anything like that. But he's having himself a good little season there. He's having himself a cute little season.
You know what? There's nothing wrong with a 30-goal season.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong, but like at the price that he's going to demand,
not everybody's gonna have a 40-goal season. You know, it's just 30 goals. I always think like when you're a player of that caliber, 30 is the basement to where you should be.
Oh my God, is this not the palest guy you've ever seen in your life? I mean, look at that.
Oh my God,
he is a white guy.
Get some sun.
Yeah. He looks like Rocky Dennis.
He's a fucking clear.
Yeah. In 30 games, he has 30 points. That puts him on par for the highest points per game so far in his career. So, again, the goals aren't really that up, but he's piling up the assists. He's having a cute little season, in my opinion. And not to the point where he's going to prove the naysayers wrong, but it's good enough, in my opinion. Terry Ann says, and thanks for joining us again, Terry. She says, I'm devastated of Bufflin. Retired too damn lazy to lose weight. He should join the show. Hey, if he needs a spot, doesn't have any job, he's always welcome on the Simba.
Yeah. We don't weigh here. You don't have to make a weight to get on air.
Yeah. So, guys, it was really a thrill to play with the Winnipeg Jets, and, it was really fun, That was my Bufflin impression. Joe says...
And I'm going to just look at him and go, Dustin Buff.
Joe says, don't know if Matt knows this, but Gallagher's on pace to win the Lady Byng Trophy. According to who, Joe? Because I'm not doubting you in any way. I just don't know if... someone can be on pace to win the Richard Trophy if you see he has a lot of goals. The Lady Byng is really subjective. I don't know how someone can be on pace for it, because isn't that the Gentleman's Trophy?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, why is he on pace?
Trophy, yeah, he's on pace. He had a lot of fucked up shit happen to him, and nobody's beating him.
Yeah. Gallagher's kind of not to the level of Marchand, but he's a little rat there, eh? Joe says, Bufflin retired? I'm sorry, but I believe it's a selfish move on his part. He waited the entire offseason, and then before preseason, he tells the team that he needs surgery. Yeah, no, completely shitty little move there. And it's kind of weird for both him and the team, because you screwed over your team, and you're also leaving a lot of money on the table. I'm sure that it's not all about money, but still... Joe says it's because his penalty minutes are down. Okay, that makes sense. Terry Ann says, for what he gets paid, Lane should get scoring a lot more. Hey, I know we joked about him. Coming from a girl, is he a handsome guy, Patrick Laney? I always wondered. I feel like he's either really handsome or really not. And I'm leaning on really not.
Do you get all googly-eyed when you look at him, Terry?
Yeah, do you get googly?
They're like, oh, hello there, Mr. Line A.
It's not like she's just meeting him in the supermarket. That's not how Winnipeg works. Eddie Van Haskell says, this year's Bington moment. Phil Esposito comes out of retirement for just one more game with the Bruins. Terry Ann says a flat no.
Terry, in your opinion, who is the most attractive hockey player in the league right now?
Oh, yeah, this can get fun right now. Terry Ann, who is the most attractive hockey player in the NHL? Who would you say it is, Jake? No homo, of course. I'm not gay, but who would you say?
I hate to say it, but I'd go like Lundqvist.
Oh man, that's a good decision.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
He's the one that jumps out at me. No homo.
You know who I'm going with?
Who?
It's kind of a dark horse decision, I know. Some people might not find him hot, but I think he's pretty sexy. Tuukka Rask.
He looks like the fucking Alfred E. Newman from fucking from Mad TV.
Oh boy, yeah.
Tuukka Rask, really?
No, that was a joke. Probably Lundqvist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tuukka Rask looks like he played games without a mask.
Yeah. Joe says Liney's sideburns in the playoffs are ew. For me, I think Max Domi is a pretty good-looking guy. Nice eyes. Price is very handsome man to me as well. You know, Max Domi, I gotta see where he gets his eyebrows done. From someone with, like, the bushiest eyebrows you've seen and in every continent. I need to know where he gets his eyebrows done, because it's good job. Good job. Hey, good tweezing, good everything. Yeah.
But you know, also I'll throw another mention in. Adam Henrique, he was a handsome guy. He's a handsome fella.
Oh, you know who else is really handsome? I mean, we all talked about how Henrik Lundqvist is handsome. You know who else is really, really handsome? Maybe like on the same level? Joel Lundqvist, Henrik's twin brother. They look exactly the same.
Oh, I wonder why.
Genetics. Really good genetics.
Come on, Terry, we're waiting for you. Oh,
Mark Scheifele? What?
Scheifele, oh.
That's the most handsome one. He kind of looks
that's I gotta look him up. I gotta see. Scheifele. Okay, let me see.
I mean,
pretty
he
handsome
has
as well.
really nice eyes.
Talk about a really fun way to spend a Saturday night. We're a bunch of men and a girl talking about what hockey players are handsome.
Yeah, well, I think the cherry Garcia went to your brain because we're not Saturday night. But Eddie Van Haskell says probably Matt Martin of the Isles.
Well, Matt Martin, you know who Matt Martin's here's a funny story about Matt Martin. You know who he's marrying, right?
Who?
He's marrying Sydney Esiason, who is Boomer Esiason's daughter. She works for like NHL.com.
You're saying this person as if I'm supposed to know who it is. Who is that?
Boomer Esiason is he was a former NFL MVP.
Right.
For the Cincinnati Bengals, and he also played for the Jets. Yeah. And he's also a radio show host over here, like a big sports radio show. But he's also a diehard bleed blue from the womb Rangers fan.
Really?
And his son-in-law is an Islander. So like he's like one of the, like when you talk about like, oh yeah, famous Rangers fans, like he's like right there. Like I know you're not a football fan or anything like that, but like he knows his hockey. He still plays hockey like for like a men's league, and like he's been known if they're trying to win a game to get like NHL players out of retirement to come play for him.
Now Eddie Van Haskell says, I read that. Joe says Nathan Boileau to me, is the best looking guy in Winnipeg. Did you see that clip of Nathan Boileau? I know I massacred his name, but did you see? It happened yesterday, I think. So he's at the blue line. He's in the offensive zone, and he's obviously a defenseman. The puck comes out of the offensive zone. He's curling back. He bumps into the referee. The Detroit player, I think it was Darren Helm, takes it. He scores on a breakaway. And then I was like, yep, that's the good old Nathan Beaulieu that we all know. Terry Ann says, I like the unhealthy, squishy guys. Wow, you must really like Dustin Bufflin then.
Then you're on the right show, yeah.
Yeah, you're on the right show. Yeah.
Yeah, she loves Phil Kessel.
Yeah.
She said I was the more handsome version of Phil Kessel, so
Yeah.
I like that is something that most women don't say. I like the unhealthy, squishy guys.
Oh yeah. I hear a lot of girls say that. I mean,
dad bod. It's called dad bod.
Yeah, and you know who started that? Fucking Leonardo DiCaprio, because he took his shirt off, and then all of the girls are like, "Oh, I like that body." So a lot of guys like just went on beaches and started taking their shirts on, revealing their tits. But little they didn't know.
You know what else did it too?
Who?
From the Endgame movie, the Avengers, with the Hemsworth when he dad bod Thor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Eddie says Ty Domi's eyebrows used to be so long, he used them for sunglasses.
We gotta find a fucking gay guy to do this bit.
Oh my god! In case you don't know what Jake's talking about,
you know,
we've wanted.
Yeah.
I've thought of inviting the Gay Chicago Choir, or whatever they are called, the gay hockey team from Chicago. Oh my god, they're great. Do you remember them?
I do. We did a story on them, right?
We'll do it next week. We'll do it next week. The gay hockey team of Chicago. And that's actually what they're called, in case you're offended or anything. They call themselves that. The gay Chicago. Hockey. They made a remix of All I Want for Christmas Is You. That song. And it's just a really, really gay version. It's hilarious. There's a bunch of guy in hockey equipment singing. It's hilarious. We'll get to that later. But for all of you guys in the chat, thank you for joining us. Also, I don't know if you guys caught it. I said at the very beginning, but our show doesn't really air at this time. I kind of had my schedule and everything, so we decided to go live now. But I do appreciate you guys going out of your way and making it this time. Terry, Joe, Eddie, whoever else was in the chat, thank you for commenting. Thank you for asking your questions. Thank you for telling us which men you find hot. We appreciate it. And on behalf of me, Jake, thank you for being here, buddy. And it started off a little shaky. I think we had a good show.
It did. We got it. We got it back. We got our mojo going.
All right.
So
for all of you other people, if you're new or if you're not listening to us live, we go live every Friday, usually at 9 p.m. Again, today it was a little bit different. But I think we had a great show. And make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe. And as usual, my name is Matt. Fuck Jack.